más estás tú. Tú, pa' comerte toda todita, si estás tú. Te ves tan rica esa carita y ese tatu. Ay, hace que la nota nunca se tú. Pa' comerte toda todita, si estás tú. Te ves tan rica esa carita y ese tatu. Ay, hace que la nota nunca se tú. Pa' comerte toda todita, si estás tú. Te ves tan rica esa carita y ese tatu. Ay, hace que la nota nunca se tú.
How's everyone doing? There's a lot of new people here. So tell me where you're from. We have to start the YouTube live, so it'll be a couple. How's everyone doing? But everyone tell me where you're from. There's a lot of new people here. Was unmuting this the right thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Colombia, Mexico, Ecuador, Costa Rica, Honduras, Lima, Peru, Paraguay. A lot of people are here. Wow. I love Colombia. I'm in Colombia right now. A lot of people here are from Colombia. You're Peruvian. Awesome. Dominican Republic, Colombia. I've also been to Costa Rica and Mexico, but I need to go to more countries. Tell me which country I should go to. I'm currently in Medellin, Colombia. And I love it here. Mexico City? I know Mexico City. I've been there.
All right, so now they're going to be only able to join on that.
I gotta open up the actual. Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta open up the actual Google Docs. Is it sharing the screen?
No.
Okay.
Ask some questions.
Yeah.
Ask an open question. What would you do if you?
Let's see. So what do you guys answer me this? What is everyone's main purpose for learning English? What is your biggest reason for learning English? Tell me in the comments. To always earn dollars. I love it. And you love the language. I love it. Be an au pair. Awesome. Improve your work situation. Study medicine. Because the whole point of today is to talk about how we can get this done, how we can learn English. So everybody here should speak pretty good English. But we want to get past the intermediate level. That's awesome. Let me open this. Give me a few minutes. Okay, awesome. All right, I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and I want to let me know if you can see everything. Give me 1 second. All right, let me know. Can you guys see this? You guys can see it? Awesome. There are so many people here. That is a really good thing to have. You love this language. Does anyone else here speak other languages too? How many languages do you guys speak? I speak a little bit of Russian, but not enough to teach it. English and Spanish, those are the two best languages. Two so far, just Spanish. Speak French too. Japanese, are you serious? I have a friend that speaks Japanese, and it's a hard language to learn. A little Italian, perhaps. I love that. Very humble. Very humble. I love that. Awesome. Speak a little Italian. Awesome. Awesome. So tell me, what is the best part of your country that I should go visit? Because I currently am in Medellin, Colombia, and I want to visit maybe another 2 countries this year. I want to visit 2 more countries this year. I'm thinking that I want to go to Peru and then maybe Spain, but I need a little bit of advice. Where should I go? What should I do? Guatemala speaks Spanish. ¿Puedo hablar en español en Guatemala? ¿En serio? I'm joking. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Carnaval in Barranquilla. That would be good. When is that? When is that? Cusco is awesome. I want to go to Machu Picchu. Cartagena. Yeah, I almost went to Cartagena instead of Medellin, but I don't know why. I just decided to come to Medellin. It was the coin toss. A coin toss means 50-50. Salta province, Argentina. I really do want to go to Argentina. I don't know why, and I don't agree with it, but when I first went to Mexico on this trip, the first guy I talked to thought I was from Argentina. So I took it as a compliment because he thought that I spoke good Spanish, but I also was surprised because I've never practiced that kind of accent. I haven't started. Do you have the YouTube ready?
Yeah.
So should I start now? Okay. All right, we'll start in 2 minutes, guys. This is the most people I've ever seen in one Zoom call. This is crazy. In Guatemala, Tikal, Semuc, Champe, in Guatemala. That sounds fun. If I can't pronounce the name, it's probably a good place to visit. Is anyone here currently living in the United States? Tell me if you're currently living in the United States. It's okay that you're not from the United States, but how many people are living there? Yeah. In Maryland? Awesome. I don't know that state. I haven't been there. But I've been to probably over 30 states. I've been to California, I've been to Florida, Washington. I've been to Washington, D.C., but I haven't been to Washington State. Massachusetts, I have not been there. I've been to Texas. I really want to go to Panama soon. Miami, I'm actually going to Miami this weekend. So yeah, Miami is a very good place. There's a lot of Spanish speakers. And I'm going. Can you join me? Feel free. Peru. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. The United States is a good place to live, but right now it is expensive, and I do not like that. Booking a flight right now. How's it going, student? You say hi, teacher. I say hi, student. All right, tell me right now, what is the most difficult part about learning English right now for you? For me with Spanish, it's really hard for me to pronounce the tildes. It's really hard for me to pronounce the tildes. I can say the letters and the vowels okay, but it's really hard for me to differentiate letters with and without tildes. Sometimes I forget a word in the sentence. Speaking. Yeah, speaking is definitely the hardest part. And that's the whole point of what we're doing today. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Speaking difficult. Hey, you're not dumb. You're not dumb. You are very smart. You guys need to understand. Learning a second language is so impressive. It is not for everybody. It is not easy. But the fact that all of you are here, I know all of you speak good English because I've talked to a lot of you. And you need to tell yourself that you're doing a good job because you are. It is very hard to speak English. And the fact that you guys are doing it is awesome. You think in Spanish? Yeah, that's normal. It'll change over time, but that's normal. It's okay to think in your native language. Okay. All right, guys, we're gonna get started today. So for this class, this is basically going over the opportunity, you know, the method, how this is gonna happen, and the bag of whys. So what's gonna help you become an advanced English speaker, right? And just remember, throughout the whole class, I want you guys to keep talking in the chat, okay? I will read the chat, and if you guys have a question, what does something mean, I can help you, okay? But if you're here, you should have a pretty advanced level of English, and you should be able to understand me for the most part. If I say something that doesn't make sense, please tell me in the chat, okay? I'm here to help you. The whole point of this is so that we can talk. So the first thing I want to talk about is a bag of whys. Now, what is a bag of whys? The bag of whys is a list of reasons why you can't give up, okay? This needs to be specific and personal. You can say things like money, but you have to be more emotional with it. It has to be more personal, okay? What do you need the money for, right? So the point of a bag of whys is that you can look at it when you're having a hard day and it prevents you from giving up, okay? It's so important. I'm going to talk about this for a little while because it is probably the most important thing in your life because it will prevent you from giving up when things get hard, right? So what does discipline mean? Discipline. Does anyone know what discipline means? If you can explain it a little bit in English, if you need to in Spanish, it's okay, but explain it in English. Being disciplined does not mean doing things while you're motivated. It doesn't mean doing things while it's easy, okay? It's easy to do things when you're motivated. Discipline means doing things when you want to quit, when you are fed up. That's a modismo. And it means cuando quieres dejar, when you want to quit, right? So when you are fed up with something, it means you don't want to do it, but you keep doing it because you're disciplined, right? So being disciplined means you don't stop for anything, all right? And this is the most important thing, especially when learning English, because wanting to quit, wanting to give up is normal. It is normal, but you can't quit, right? Exactly, Osman. That's exactly. You do what you need to do, whether you want to do it or not. That's exactly right. So I'm going to give you an example of my bag of whys, okay? So I still am, but I'm starting to switch. I'm starting to do this more full time. This is my job. I love teaching English, but for the longest time, I've been a salesman, right? And sales is very, very, very hard. Does anyone here do any sales? It is a very, very hard job. So while working in the United States, I had to look at this every single day. I'm going to talk about more about what my job is later in this class. But for right now, just know my job was very hard. It was very stressful. It was every day I wanted to quit, right? But I had a bag of whys. So my biggest reason, and it's probably your all's biggest reason too for learning English, is money, right? You know, everyone needs money. You need it to do basically everything. So for me, you don't want to just put money. That's not emotional. Like if I were to look at a list and see money, I would say, I'm okay. but you got to list why do you need money, okay? I want everyone to make a list, whether it's now or after this class, but a bag of whys. So for me, I needed to pay for college. It's really important for me that I really want to go to college, and I'm doing it right now, and it's very difficult because it's expensive, especially in the United States. So I needed money to pay for college. I recently, in the last few years, moved to Utah. Utah is a very beautiful state in the United States, but it's not the cheapest state in the United States. So I needed money to be able to afford to live there. Recently, before I started this job, I had a car with a lot of problems, right? And I needed a new car, or I needed to fix my car. Those are my two options. But either way, I needed to pay for a car, right? And this list, I made this a long time ago, so some things have changed. But another reason was to save up to get married one day. I want to get married. I want to have a wife and kids one day, but costs money. I wanted to travel to Latin America. Now, I made this list years ago. So right now, I'm in Latin America. I love it. I'm so glad that I stuck through with this, but I wouldn't have been able to do it without my bag of whys. I wanted to quit every day, but you don't, because you can't. You can't allow that to be an option, right? One big thing I really did want was LASIK surgery. If anyone knows what that is, it's a surgery so that your eyes can see better. So I had really, really bad vision. I had to wear big glasses. It was hard to see. But with the money that I made from doing my job, I got LASIK surgery. So I can see perfectly now without glasses, and that was awesome. So that's a big reason. So for your list, you got to put specific reasons, right? My second reason for my bag of whys is discipline, okay? Where do I live? Currently, I'm in Colombia, but I live in Utah. Well, I'm from all over there. I've lived in a bunch of states. But discipline. So I had to prove to myself that I can do difficult things, right? It's a confidence booster. Does anyone know what confidence booster means? It's should be pretty self-explanatory, but it means that you lift yourself up, right? If you do something difficult, you should be proud of yourself. That's awesome. That's really, really impressive. So I had to prove to myself that I can do difficult things. So I couldn't give up. That was one of my reasons. Another reason was mental toughness. Everyone always talks about it, but it's really hard to actually have it, right? So mental toughness means that your brain can handle a lot more difficulty than if you weren't mentally tough. So as a kid, no kids are really mentally tough, right? Your parent tells you can't get a toy, you can't get candy, something, and you cry. When you get older, though, you realize that the world isn't that easy. It's not that simple. You can't just get what you want, right? So you have to be mentally tough. It's a really important thing in life, to be mentally tough. And to do things that are difficult makes you tougher. Another thing is I had to prove to my family that I don't give up easily. This was really important to me because my family didn't really understand what I was doing at the time, right? They didn't understand, why am I moving across the country? Why am I doing these crazy things? Why am I going to Latin America? I had to prove that I don't give up. I do things that are difficult, and when I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Another thing is, for my job, I was a manager of a team. So I had to lead by example to help my team sell more so that, we would all make more money. And it was really important as a leader to lead by example. So what I do, they do. If I don't do it, they don't do it. So I had to be tough. I had to prove to my family, I had to prove to myself I could do it, and I had to prove to my team. The last thing is a career opportunity. I had to help build my reputation in the sales world. I had to meet people in the industry that were a lot higher than me, that knew a lot more than me, that were a lot better than me. I wanted to learn from them, but I had to meet them, and I had to make a name for myself, right? I had to build my resume, gaining leadership experience. So all these things should be in your list of whys. Now, for this next part, I need it to be very interactive, all right? There's 100 people in this chat. At least half of you guys should be talking with me. We're going to make our own bag of whys really, really quick, okay? Doesn't have to be anything crazy. And we have another 120 on YouTube. So there should be a lot of people interacting, all right? So what is your reason for wanting to learn English? Why can't you give up? It can be money, it can be anything, but you just give any reasons that is important to you, right? So someone said, pay my family's debts off. That's a good one. That's a very good one. Yeah, I'm very, very proud of you. That's a very good one, okay? And that's very important for a lot of people. Now, just keep giving me a list of reasons, right? It can be new job, want to move out of my country. That takes money. Better life. Buy a house. That's a very, very good one. Pay for my trips. That's good. Travel. Exactly. Meet new people. That's a very good one. That one's very important to me too. Meet new people. Study. Oh, very good one, Brian. Very, very good one. So study at an English university. Meet my gringo husband. Haha, JK. Doesn't have to be a joke. That can be serious. That can be serious. That can go kind of with meeting people, right? Meeting. I'm on a Spanish keyboard and I don't really know how to use it. So I'm gonna put period, meeting a spouse, meeting a partner. That is important. That is a good one. It's true. Pay my English exchange year. Exactly. Start a new life. All these things are good. So this is our list of the group, but you guys need to make your own as well. And for me, I had to see it every single day. I had a printed copy of my list of whys, and I put it on my wall. And I would look at it every single day, because otherwise you will give up. They say, you guys know what a goal is, right? A goal is something that you want to achieve in life. But a goal without a plan is just a wish. And wishes usually don't come true. I mean, it has to be a goal. A goal is way stronger than a wish. A wish has no plan. A goal has a plan. And if you have a goal and you follow the steps, you will achieve your goal, right? So all these are really, really good. Personal achievement. I like that one because that one's really underrated. Personal achievement. That one's really, really good because it makes you feel good to do something that's difficult, right? Doing something that's difficult is just it's such an accomplishment, a good feeling. Before I moved out of my home state, I wasn't pushed that hard. I didn't do things that were that difficult. So once I started pushing myself, it was hard. It was so hard. I did not like it. But now that I'm here, I'm in Medellin, Colombia right now. I would have never been here if I gave up the second something got hard, because I would have had no money to travel here. Now that I'm here, I love it so much. And I thank myself every day for not giving up, right? So we're gonna do a little question and answer type thing, all right? The purpose of this event is to help you all know what you need to do to become advanced English speakers, right? That's everyone's goal here, to become an advanced English speaker. So I'm going to share my experience a little bit about learning Spanish, right? So quick story. The first reason why I wanted to learn Spanish was because I went to Mexico. And I'm actually going to explain that story a little more later on. It was because of my job. They sent me to Mexico for free. And that was my first experience ever hearing Spanish. Because where I'm from, in the United States, we have people from all over the world, but where I'm from is a little bit smaller of an area, and there wasn't that many people that spoke different languages. So I've never really heard a different language. But when I'm into Mexico and I heard everyone speak Spanish, I honestly thought it was so cool. I was like, how is this possible? How are people speaking a different language? It blew my mind, right? So for me, I found it very easy to want to learn Spanish. I actually really never struggled to find motivation. I always wanted to do it. But it does not mean that learning Spanish was easy. It just means that I wanted to do it, right? But it doesn't mean it didn't come without challenges. Real quick, Ricardo, what was my favorite city? Currently, I'm in Medellin, Colombia, and it is my favorite city I've ever been to. I've also been to El Coco and La Fortuna in Costa Rica, and those places were great too. Mexico City, Puebla, all those places were great. But so I didn't start with any real training, right? I went to Mexico and I just decided that this was cool. That was it. I didn't know how, but when I got on the plane to go home to the United States, I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to learn Spanish. Didn't know how, had no idea. Never tried to learn another language before. I guess I learned a little bit of Russian at one point, but really didn't have any experience with different languages, right? So I just put myself in spots to talk to people that didn't speak English, right? That's really the best way to do it, is to practice. And I practiced as much as I could every single day. Looking back, the only real thing that I would change with how I did it was just have a stronger structure. And that's why we have what we're doing today. That's why we're going to show you what we're doing, because having that structure is how you learn how to learn, right? Learning how to learn is the most powerful skill in the world. And I actually learned that in high school. I had this really, really good teacher, and he was like, anyone can do what they want to do, but learning how to learn is the most important thing, because there's really nothing that can stop you after that, as long as you know how to get these skills. So the benefits I have experienced with my current Spanish level: I am not fluent. I do consider myself to be a good Spanish speaker. I'm kind of where you guys are at with English, right? So I feel confident. You know, when I'm here in Medellin, Colombia, I don't need a translator. I can get around. I'm okay. But I have to say, like, wait, can you help me again? Can you say that slower? So I'm not quite at the top, but we're all in this together. We all need to get to the highest level of our new languages. So I'm able to travel without a translator. And that is such a cool thing to say, because 2 years ago, that would have blown my mind. That would have been crazy to think about. I have met so many new friends in the United States and Latino America, right? I've met so many people. I have fallen in love with the whole new culture. I love the people so much. I personally really feel like I have woken up, because there are so many new things and new places that I would have never discovered without learning Spanish. I was on the phone with my friend yesterday, literally, this is a true story. And he calls me, and I told him I was in Colombia, and he didn't even know I was here. And he goes, bro, your life has changed so much from learning Spanish, because he knows that I was learning it, but he doesn't really know how serious I'm about it. He goes, man, your life has changed so much since learning Spanish. I have a new job. You know, I love teaching English. I love it so much. I have a whole new passion. Like, every day I wake up and I think something about Spanish. I love it so much. So, you know, it's cool, but I still feel like I'm missing out, because I struggle with native paced conversations, right? I feel like at any point in time, if I'm only speaking in Spanish and there is no English, I'll be okay, but I can't speak at the native paced conversations. Can anyone relate to that? That is definitely something that I struggle with. Are you guys roughly in the same? I like to talk to you guys while I'm doing this. So if you guys understand what I'm feeling, let me know in the chat, right? Exactly. It's normal. I always have to ask for a repeat of the sentence all the time. They'll say, ¿Cómo estás? Maybe not that easy, but I'll say, ¿Mande? ¿Qué dijiste? No entiendo. ¿Puedes decir eso otra vez? Something like that. I always say things like that, right? It's difficult for me to speak with people from different accents too. Here I'm in Medellin, Colombia. The accent here is a lot different than in Mexico. I actually feel like I could understand a lot more of the Spanish from Mexico City and Puebla, a lot more than here. And here, there's a lot of people from other countries as well. And sometimes when I talk to them, I'm like, you're not from here, are you? Your accent's different. And it's difficult for me to understand different accents. And I'm sure it's the same way with English. You know, even if you go to two different states on the different side of the country, they're going to talk a lot different, right? It's different. It's difficult. So that's something that I'm struggling with too. So we're all in this together. We're all learning together. Now, what's really important for you to understand is my reason to learn Spanish is not exactly the same as your reason to learn English, right? My reasons are more for travel and meeting people, right? Your reasons are likely for the opportunity to work and maybe moving to a new country. I've heard a lot of people say that earlier in this class. It happens to me a lot with those inside jokes. Exactly, Sally. Exactly. In English too, some people I can't understand good, but other people, yeah, exactly. It's because people speak differently. Some people sound more educated, and usually those people are easier to understand. Because my Spanish has kind of been self-taught and just learning natively, I feel like I can understand people that speak, normal versus very formal. But it's just important that you kind of learn both ways, right? Because some people talk more formal, some people talk less formal, but you need to be able to understand both. So there are some things that are similar, for example, in the process of finding an effective method, but maybe the motivation isn't the same. So for us, I'm learning Spanish, you guys are learning English. All of us are looking for ways to dominate our new languages. With Spanish, so this is something that for you guys, right? This is not something that I'm saying, this is for you. With Spanish, you all can do many things, but what are you not able to do? What are some things you can't do with only Spanish? Usually American paying jobs. I'm sure there are some where you don't need English, but in America, in the United States, I try not to say America because I understand. I learned recently that all Latin America is America, but being from the United States, I've always used the word America to describe the United States. So forgive me, I don't mean any offense. I know that we're all Americans, but I'm from the United States. So to find an American paying job, which means a job from the United States, even the lowest paying can be like, I didn't know how to translate this exactly into, because I know you guys are from all over Latin America, but I'm currently in Colombia, so I did Colombian pesos. But $10, $15 an hour is very normal in the United States. And that can translate to be 40,000 Colombian pesos, 60,000 Colombian pesos every hour. So the difference in economic growth is a lot different in the United States. So I really want you guys to be able to have that opportunity to find jobs, even that simple, because this isn't highest crazy jobs. Yeah, $20 per hour, that exists too. I mean, that can be an entry-level job. Entry-level job means you don't need previous experience. Anyone can do it. You can run into, so with Spanish, I can do many things, but I'll never be able to run into English-speaking opportunities. You need English to run into English-speaking opportunities. It just makes sense, right? Paula, you said you can make $20 an hour babysitting. Is that crazy? There are a lot of people in Latin America, and I've seen these places. Sometimes in American dollars, they make $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 a day. But in the United States, there are some opportunities to make $20 an hour babysitting. Babysitting is a job that everyone has to do at some point in their life for free, right? All you gotta do is watch the kids. But there are jobs like that in the United States where you can get paid $20 an hour to watch a kid. That is honestly, that's crazy. Because since being here, and I'm in Colombia right now, and well, they sleep too, exactly. For me to get an Uber from one side of the city to the other is maybe $4 at most. In the United States, it would be $50. It'd be a lot more because the value there is a lot different. So if you can work over there, make as much as you can and come back or even stay there, either way, a lot of things change. So another thing that you can't do without English is speak a universal language that allows you to meet people from all over the world. So one thing, just because you learn English doesn't mean you can only speak to people from the United States or to people from, European countries that speak English. Almost every country in the world has a little bit of English because English is a universal language. And that's one thing that a lot of people from the United States were really, they're ignorant to. They don't realize how good they have it. They don't realize that they speak the universal language. So that's another reason why I started teaching English. I feel like it's my duty to help you guys, and I love the language so much. The people are so nice to me. I want to give back a little bit. I want to teach you guys my language because it's important, right? So the truth is, if you only speak one language, whatever it is, it can be Spanish, Chinese, Russian, anything. It's like you're living in the past. So I was told at one point in my life, if you're not moving forwards, you're moving backwards. So if you're not keeping up with the world's going to pass you and you're kind of falling short, right? On the other hand, being able to communicate effectively in English. So quick personal story. I have 3 stories I want to tell you, and they're all really, really awesome. Only one of them is me personally, this one, right? So I love my country. I'm from the United States and I love it to death. There's a lot of patriotism in the United States. I love my country. We call it the land of opportunity because anyone can make it to the top if they work smart and hard enough. Not just hard enough, right? There's a lot of people that work hard, but you got to work smart too. Speaking English is a stepping stone to getting there. And again, just for everybody that's here, if I say something that doesn't make sense, please tell me in the chat. I want everyone to understand me. So for example, I'm from a very relaxed state called Kentucky. Most people in Kentucky are very humble. They come from very humble beginnings. What does that mean? It means that we don't have a lot in Kentucky, right? Brian, the file that I'm projecting, I can send it to you if you want after this, but this isn't really that important that you have it. But if you want it, I can send it to you. We'll talk after. But so we come from very humble beginnings, right? There's a lot of farms, a lot of people that work hard with their hands. You know, it's not a very rich state. Sometimes finding opportunities there is hard. I never planned on leaving Kentucky because usually when you're from a state that's like that, it's hard to leave. It's hard to even imagine leaving. But I did know I wanted more for myself in my life. So when I was 19, I'm 22 right now, so it's only been 3 years. But when I was 19, I got in contact with a sales company in Utah that said that they would pay me, this is wrong, it was $5,000. That's wrong, but it doesn't really matter. They would pay me $5,000 for me to move out there to work for them for 1 summer. That was crazy. At the time, I probably had $500 to my name, and I worked a lot. I probably only had $500. So they told me they'd pay me $5,000 to work with them for only 1 summer. After the summer, I was done. I only had to do 1 summer. That job was not easy. But it required no experience or outstanding skills, right? The only skill that I had was English, because sales, you don't necessarily have to be the best at something to be sales. It's about working hard, being consistent, and then obviously knowing the language. So this job was not easy, but it required no experience or outstanding skills. It just required an insane amount of mental toughness and discipline, like I was talking before. That bag of whys, that list of whys that I had to look at it every single day because this was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. But I trained and prepared myself. When the summer started, I worked 6 days a week, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Now, I wasn't working the full, maybe 10 hours. I'm probably only working 8 of those hours, but I was driving from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and then driving home from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. I was working all day, right? It was exhausting, but I was determined to finish it through. I ended up making around $25,000 plus the $5,000 they gave me to come out. Total summer earnings was around $30,000, which I tried to translate that because I know you guys aren't maybe not familiar with the exact number of American dollars, but 132 million Colombian pesos or 600,000 Mexican pesos. The reason why I gave out those translations is because I've been in Colombia and Mexico. So if you're from a different country, I apologize. Just know that it's a pretty good amount of money considering I had no experience. And I only did that in 3 months. The only real thing that I needed for that job was fluent English. The job is a reason I went to Mexico for the first time 2 years ago. And it was a reason why I fell in love with Spanish, which is crazy. What is crazy is there's people making way more than me doing that same job. And it, again, required no experience. I'm not saying that job is for you. I'm not saying it's for everyone. I'm not saying you're going to make that much money that quickly. But I am saying that the only legal way to make that much money is with English, in my personal experience. There might be that few random things outside that can do the same thing, but from my experience, English is a way to have those opportunities. One other example. So my friend from high school, he was my best friend. His name was Seth, and he was in the same situation as me growing up. He came from very humble beginnings, and he only had a single mom. His mom works very hard to take care of the family, and I respected her so much for what she does. Well, my friend and I were in high school. His mom worked at an entry-level job at a company in Kentucky, right? So an entry-level job means no experience required. The job was not anything crazy difficult, and it's not extraordinarily high paying, but it paid the bills. While a few years of working there, she got a call saying that they were very impressed with her work ethic, her ability to show up on time every day. and she didn't complain. She always got the work done. She ended up getting a big job promotion but they had to move out of state. Indiana wasn't very far from Kentucky, but it was, my friend had to move away. So long story short, with no real education and specific skills, just the work ethic and the discipline, she got an opportunity to grow up in the company and get a really good high-paying job. And again, this happens in the United States. This happens when you speak English. This happens with opportunities like this. One other story, I have a friend from Peru and I talk to him pretty consistently. He's a dentist, or he was a dentist in Peru. He lives in the United States now. But he told me that in American dollars, he makes about $25,000 a year. You know what's something crazy? In the United States, depending on where you are, but you can make $25,000 a year for doing any job, even working at McDonald's, which is like, one of the easier jobs. So my friend from Peru moved to the United States to try to get his American license for dentistry. Now he's still in school right now, so he's not done. But he just needs to know. So he is still in school right now, but he says the school material is easy. He knows the science. He knows how to do it. He just needs his license in English. So he just needs to know how to say it in English. If he gets his license to be a dentist in the United States, he is guaranteed to make $80,000 or more, with potential of making like $250,000, which is a lot of money, right? So English is very valuable, very, very valuable. If you can get past the eternal intermediate, so many doors will open up to you, I promise. I'm not saying you're going to make $300,000 a year. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is you need English to hit that next level, especially in the world in general, right? English is a universal language, and there's a lot more opportunity in the United States versus some other countries. It's very unfortunate, and I wish it wasn't like that, but that's just the way it is. So opportunities will open up to you. They're so much easier to find in English. You gain access to the international language of opportunity, right? So here's some quick 10 reasons why it's good to learn English. You can travel, discover new places, enjoying new cultures, finding opportunities outside of your country, or you can work online. You don't have to be in person physically in the United States. You can work online and make a significantly more amount of money. Discovering ways to make a lot more money than you are right now is another reason. So gaining the ability to collect or to get a college degree from the United States. I know many people that are from Latin America that are in my classes in person in the university that I attend. So it is possible. You can do it. You can meet people that can help you find jobs, right? Feel the satisfaction of speaking two languages. Some words are hard to say in English, even for an English speaker. It's okay, guys. We all struggle. Satisfaction is how you say it. Feel the satisfaction of speaking two languages is a really good feeling. I've never been so happy with myself with anything than the fact that I can go to Columbia without a translator and get around. I'm so happy about that. Being proud of yourself for accomplishing something so difficult. Again, like I said that before, it makes you feel very, very good. And then, yeah, enjoying life to the fullest. So that's why you want to become an advanced English learner. Now, we all know why, but the question is how. So I want to point out what things that you're doing that may be wrong. Now, not everybody. I'm sure some of you guys have been doing really, really good, but I've been doing this for a while, and the same problems that I see over and over and over is that you don't have a designated teacher or a native speaker to help you learn, right? You need someone specifically. You can't just watch movies. You can't just read books. It'll help. It's not bad. It's very good. I do it all the time, but that's not the one and only answer to becoming fluent. Another thing I hear a lot is people always complain about not being able to pronounce the words. For me personally, now I teach English, but for me personally, I will never, ever give you a hard time for struggling to learn a word. English is hard. Speaking in English is not easy. It's not for everybody, but you all can do it. You all can do it, and I will help you with that. So trying to teach yourself pronunciation or guessing the meaning of native phrases isn't going to work. I've had a lot of people do that. Another thing is you need to believe in yourself, right? Believing in yourself is so, so important. One thing, yeah, another thing that you need to stop doing, or something that you are doing that's not working, you can't keep forgetting your list of whys. You guys need to have that list of whys. It needs to be the most important thing in your life. It needs to be the cover of your phone. It needs to be printed and put on your wall. You need to see it every day. Following traditional methods and courses can be tough. You need something that's unique to you, right? And like I said earlier, believing in yourself is the most important thing. All my students have at one point in time told me in Spanish, you know, I'm embarrassed. I feel shame. You know, it's hard. And I'm not trying to tell you that should just go away like that, right? It's hard. It's not easy. But you need to understand that you have to beat yourself before you can beat English. So yourself is your biggest enemy. It can also be your biggest hero, but you have to believe in yourself. I didn't believe in myself like I do now before I started learning Spanish. But I've gained a lot of trust in myself because I do things that are difficult and I don't give up, right? Embarrassment is a choice. Like, it is 100% up to you whether or not you feel embarrassed. Every single day, I go out in public and I say something wrong and someone will laugh at me. But instead of me being embarrassed and stop talking, I laugh with them because it was kind of funny. Yesterday or 2 days ago, I was telling you guys, I accidentally was trying to tell someone that I was embarrassed. And I said, estoy embarazado. You guys all speak Spanish, so you understand that that's wrong. I'm not pregnant. I'm trying to say that I'm embarrassed. So I had to learn the different word. So it's okay. It happens. It happens. Another thing is you guys probably, so I'm sure some of you do, but probably don't have an accountability partner. What is an accountability partner? It's a person or multiple people that are on the journey with you to help you stay on the path. That is so important. I can't do hardly anything alone. Even if I am doing it alone, I can't do it mentally alone. I have to know that there's someone out there that I can talk to. There has to be someone out there that can help me because bad days are going to come. Not every day will be easy, I promise. But in other words, not having the exact plan and sticking to it is a reason why you're not past the intermediate English speaker. So let's change this. I'm going to share 3 things that I want you to start doing today. And on Wednesday, in 2 days from now, I will give you the exact plan you want to follow in order to become an advanced English speaker. So today, there's 3 things you need to do. Understand how much you need to learn, okay? All of us here, every single person in this chat is pretty good at English. I've talked to a lot of you. Some of you are crazy good. I talked to Paula. She sounds crazy. She's super fluent. But the point is that we're all roughly at the same level. So you need to find out how much you need to learn. Find ways to challenge yourself, right? Watch a movie. What part of the movie was hardest for you? What type of things were they talking about that you couldn't understand? Figure out what kind of English you need too, because another thing, you don't need to know every word in the English language to speak good English. What English is important to you? I find with my Spanish, I'm best in a classroom setting because I teach it. Those are the words that I use every day, and that's what I use for work. That's how I speak Spanish. So for me, that's important. For you, if you're doing something else, maybe you're a Spanish teacher, or maybe you work on cars, or maybe whatever it is, learn the words that are important for you, right? So you need to find a method that works for you. How do you like to learn? How do you learn best? You should write that down at some point, either right now or after. You guys like to be pushed, or do you get nervous? And that is not really there should be only one answer to this. So it's okay to get nervous, but you should be okay being pushed. You need to be outside of your comfort zone. And then you need to get trained by designated teachers and native speakers that want to help you. This will be talked about on Wednesday, okay? On Wednesday. So why do I want to help you become an advanced English speaker? To help you guys reach your goals and dreams. The Latino people of Latin America are so good to me, and I love teaching, and I want to do everything I can to help you guys, right? So that is all we have for today. Is there any questions or anything you guys have right now? On Wednesday, we're going to talk about the how. How is this possible? How can you do it? Everyone here can do it. Not everybody in the world, not everyone in Latin America can do it, but the ones that are here, you guys can do it because I've talked to you guys. I know you guys can do it. Is there anything else you want to say, Axel?
We might have more tomorrow. Q&A is very
okay. Yeah, so tomorrow at 6, you said 6:30?
6:30.
Okay, 6:30 in the hour of Columbia, we're gonna have a question and answer, okay? Because I'm sure there's a lot of questions you guys have. When you guys have those questions, write them down and then ask us tomorrow at the Q&A at 6:30. All of you guys should be in the WhatsApp group and everything will be talked about there. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm gonna put, I know on YouTube you guys won't get it, but if you're in the Zoom class, I'm gonna put my Instagram, and you guys please feel free to reach out to me if you guys need to. I can't respond to every message. There's gotta be a reason for it.
We're gonna do a story with the question so that they put the question in the.
Okay, so I'll put a story on my Instagram and you guys can ask me questions there and I can put it publicly. So that way, if the same questions are said over and over, I can say at one time and help you guys. What are we going to use the test results we made before? What are you going to use it for? No,
Here,
yeah. What do you say?
the test is that, so that they qualify for the school.
Yeah. So that test that you took, Osman, was to make sure that you could be in the Zoom class. So the fact that you were here means that you used it correctly.
We might assess you later.
Yeah, we might assess you again later because there are a lot of things like this. But yeah, it was very, very good to talk to you guys. Now tell me, I'm so curious. How much of my English could you understand? I was speaking fast and I was not going easy. So if you tell me you only understood 60%, it's okay. It is okay. But how much of my English did you understand? And you can send it to me directly if you want. 80%, very good, very good. 100%, 100%, wow, 90%, 100%, 80%, 90%. Everybody right now, I swear, pat yourself on the back. If it was anywhere above like 50%, that is honestly impressive. That is so impressive. 60% is awesome. 65% is awesome. 60% is awesome. It's okay. You guys are doing so good. You don't understand how hard it is to do what you're doing right now. This is not for everybody, but it is for everybody in this group because you guys are here for a reason. Someone said 90.3333334%. That's specific. You must have done the math on a calculator. That's impressive. Speak a little bit slower, please. So I was not going easy on you on purpose. When I teach classes, I talk slower because sometimes I need to talk slower so you can understand me. How I was talking in this class was 100% fully native, okay? I did not go easy on you. So when you say speak slower, I will when I'm teaching a class. But this class wasn't really teaching. This class was more, telling you why it's important to learn. Most of you should have understood for the most part. What did you say?
Raising awareness.
Yeah, raising awareness. Exactly. I'm very proud of you for understanding that. That blows my mind away. They're asking for the file that I'm projecting. I mean, it's not that important. Should I give it to them in the chat? So this
We'll give you other material.
Yeah, there will be a lot of material that we give you, but this specific document isn't that important. It's really just why. I mean, I can, if you really, really want it,
We'll put it nicer and share.
yeah. If you really want it, reach out to me on Instagram or something. Exactly, Paul. I was gonna tell you to slow down, but it feels good to be exactly desafiado. Challenge. Exactly.
That's the English challenge.
That's exactly right. Desafío 3.0. I am so proud of you guys. I seriously can't say that enough. You guys, so many people give themselves a hard time because they think it's hard. It is hard, but you guys are here and we love to help you. Okay. So I'm going to end this call, but you guys all did super, super good. I'm really, really glad you were here. And I blowed your mind. Awesome. Ricardo, I'm so proud of you. Why 3.0? Because we've done multiple. This isn't the first time. But you're very, very welcome. Very good meeting you guys. Please reach out to me. We're doing a Q&A tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Columbia time. Okay. And we'll send out the information. But my Instagram, I'll send it one more time. Yeah. There you go. All right, guys. It was so good seeing you guys. I'm going to end this call, but We'll see each other again very, very soon. Okay. Goodbye, everybody.